I've heard of people telling on each other, ratting on, on the organization, but he ratted on other organizations on top of his organization, his friends, his people he just went berserk.
The case of 6ix9ine has a lot of people reacting to various aspects of the case, from what 6ix9ine was arrested for, to what 6ix9ine did in terms of snitching, and now his impending sentencing hearing. It's a lot to comprehend, but what exactly are rappers saying about 6ix9ine's snitching ways? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Do you want to win any of these items on the screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right back into the video. Snoop Dogg a snitch? So as you may know, Snoop Dogg has been nothing but against Tekashi 6ix9ine ever since the snitching started, calling him a rat and has tried to humiliate him on social media. Well, ironically enough, Snoop Dogg has snitched himself. In 1998, Snoop Dogg was jumped by a group sent by his former record label Death Row Records because he signed with a new label. He then went to the police where this report was filed. Mr. Brodus was extremely cooperative during the incident and in fact said that he was thankful that the deputies had been there and he felt that the assault was intended as an act of intimidation. He told me that he felt he was in grave danger as a result of leaving Death Row Records and signing with his new label No Limits. Mr. Brodus also said that he felt Mr. Arnard was in danger as he is still under contract to Death Row Records. During the discussion, I said that I knew who killed Tupac Shakur. Mr. Brodus responded by saying that it was the man sitting next to Tupac. I asked if he meant 6ix9ine. He replied affirmatively. Mr. Brodus also said that he was upset that his bodyguard disappeared and did not assist him. So as you can see, Snoop Dogg was labeled as a snitch over 20 years ago, but with time, that label went away, and he is still very well respected in the rap community. Would this also apply to 6ix9ine as well? Since Snoop Dogg's snitching was forgotten, does that mean that 6ix9ine still has a chance? What do you think about Snoop Dogg snitching? Quite ironic, don't you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Why should they care that he snitched? There's been a lot of chatter about what 6ix9ine has done and why he snitched and how he snitched and on and on and on. And of course, because he's a member of the rap community, although one that the community somewhat wishes they could ignore, there are many who want to see what the rap community feels about what he did in court. But here's the question that all of us honestly should be asking about this. Why should they care? Granted, if they're the ones getting snitched on by 6ix9ine and they get arrested or jailed and such by snitching, then they have every right to care. But in regards to many of the people on this list, that's not likely to happen. Or it won't happen all the time, or it won't happen at all because they aren't affiliated with him or the group he worked for. So looking at this from the big picture, why should they care that 6ix9ine is snitching at all? Does it really matter what he's doing when it's clear he's only snitching to try and save himself? If you're asking yourself that question, you're thinking about this in the wrong context. No, these individual rappers may not be the ones directly affected by 6ix9ine snitching, but they may know people who are, or they know people who are. Despite what people say, the rap community is actually pretty small and they're very inclusive. They believe in looking out for their own, as long as that person isn't causing trouble. To that end, in the rap community, there is something called the law of the streets. It's their own little code that defines who they are, what they do, and most importantly, what they don't do. And one of the things that they don't do, no matter what, is snitch. No matter the cost, no matter the offer, no matter the reward, you do not snitch. This is the one rule. This is the thing you do not break. And 6ix9ine broke it without much issue and is singing like a bird to try and get out of jail now. So from the rap community's perspective, this isn't about something as simple and basic as a person telling the truth. This is about a person trying to bring a part of the community down via his snitching. And when you hurt one member of the community, you hurt every member of the community, which is an unacceptable offense to many members of the community itself, including some you're going to see on this list. So while it may seem like a unique act being perpetrated by a guy who clearly isn't as tough as he thought he was, this is kind of an act on war. You're showing the rap community that you don't care about them, that you only care about yourself. That's why they care, because he didn't. He put himself above the whole group, and no one wants to be around a person like that, so they're making their own feelings known on the matter. Casanova. Here's a recent reveal that'll surely throw you for a loop in terms of his response. Casanova is another controversial rapper, and one that had beef with 6ix9ine in 2018. The two went at it for a while, but then it ended. Ironically, they ended it not too long before 6ix9ine was arrested in 2018. Since his arrest and plea deal agreement and subsequent snitching, Casanova has stayed quiet on the matter, despite being asked by many on his thoughts on the situation. Now, he's revealed what he thinks of everything, and if there's something he can state very clear, it's that he doesn't feel pity for those that 6ix9ine snitched on. He has bigger things to worry about. I'm not shocked at all, but I don't care. Casanova explains in an interview, I don't care what he's doing. I don't care who he's doing it with. I don't care because before he went to jail, we was cool. I ain't got no problem. I don't care. I feel like every single person in the United States turned their back on me, especially in New York. My music went from playing every second to set tripping, not even playing on the radio. He also had some rather harsh words to those who abandoned 6ix9ine and tried to play off what he did and didn't do. I feel like even the people that's calling him, whatever they call him, Casanova was critical of those who were quick to abandon 6ix9ine once the word snitch started flying around. But he also has zero sympathy for the 9 Trey members. All those that's with him, I don't feel sorry for them at all. He said, before explaining that he has since left that lifestyle behind. They went the wrong route to begin with. I did the right thing. He also cited the day he made peace with 6ix9ine was a day that he knew he was supposed to have a good life. The day we met up, it could have went left. I would have been under the jail. I would have been finished. Done. That's how I know it's meant for me to succeed. I'm blessed. I believe it now. That all being said, he still thinks 6ix9ine is a troll. He took trolling to a whole nother level, he said. When I spoke to him, he was like, Cass, I don't even know you. He was speaking proper English, and I said this is really a little kid. Well, he's not wrong on that last line, because 6ix9ine is very much a child in certain aspects, and that's part of the reason that he is so controversial. People just don't want to deal with his childish antics. Still, this is something that many people underestimate. It's true that a lot of people in the rap world don't want to deal with 6ix9ine in big ways or small ways. They consider him a snitch and that's it. But Casanova proves, among others, of course, that there are some who don't mind what 6ix9ine did, and they don't fault him for his actions. That doesn't mean they're friends or anything, but at the very least, it means they're going to be something other than a surefire enemy, like many other rappers on this list. 50 Cent. Of many of the OG rappers that have been weighing in on 6ix9ine's current situation, 50 Cent is one that has honestly been playing both angles of the situation, much to his benefit. On one hand, when 6ix9ine started snitching, he made a hilarious meme about him and fellow rapper 21 Savage, stating that 6ix9ine ratted 21 Savage to the courts to try and gain favor. The first in a long line of memes about 6ix9ine's snitching nature. But then in a rather interesting twist of events, 50 Cent would not just delete the post that had the meme, but he would go on to say that he still listens to 6ix9ine and that he was still the king of New York, despite his snitching nature. This ticked off quite a few rappers, because 50 Cent is one of the most respected men in rap and holds many titles within the industry, and the fact that he would support a snitch, even partially after he broke the code of the streets, is a bit ludicrous, to say the least. Many have jumped on 50 Cent for his support, and it's very possible that this could lead him to disavow 6ix9ine when the time comes. Only time will tell. The rest of the rap community. The people who have been on this list so far are just the bare bottom of those who have been reacting to 6ix9ine snitching on people in the rap community. There's a lot more thoughts and feelings out there to be sifted through. There are people who had the chance to work with him before, but refuse to work with him if he gets out of jail. There are those who are more than open to working with 6ix9ine because in the end it's all about the music and the politics behind his arrest and the snitching aspect of things. And then there are those who just don't care about it. Those who desire nothing more than to focus on their own careers and let what happens happens. That may seem like a very bare bones way of thinking of things, but that's just how it is. As much as the media has been hyping up what's been going on via 6ix9ine, at the end of the day, he's just one man in the rap world. He's not the end all be of all rap, and he's not the king of New York. He's a guy who got himself in serious trouble and has done what many wouldn't just to get himself free of jail. To some output, to some, he's an opportunist. To others, he is a snitch. And to some others, he's just an idiot. Either way, there is one date that everyone is eyeing in the near future. Sentencing. Without a doubt, the thing that many people in the rap world are looking forward to in regards to 6ix9ine is his sentencing hearing, but for entirely different reasons. For those who stand with him, they hope that he will get released for his good behavior and help with the case against the 9 Treys. For those who stand against him, they hope that he gets the shaft and gets to stray in jail for the crimes that he's committed, even if it's only for another couple of years. Any extra time in jail will mean that they don't have to deal with him on the outside or have to hear his music so much on the radio. There's been a lot of disparity in regards to when his sentencing trial will commence. At first it was set for January 2020, but rumors swirled that it could come much sooner thanks to 6ix9ine's cooperation. However, a judge has officially set the date at December 18th, 2019, which means that it's a little over 2 months away from the time of this video's release. So what are the likelihoods of various 6ix9ine sentences? It honestly does depend on a lot of things, including the judge who is watching over the case itself, the FBI and their own personal recommendations, and the help that 6ix9ine has honestly provided the court and the various authorities. More than likely, the FBI will honor his deal in full and ask the judge for a time served release because of all the people he helped put behind bars. However, there is also a chance that the judge will look at 6ix9ine's past history with the law, which hints, if you guys aren't aware, it's not very good, and decide that because he only did the plea deal and snitching to help himself and thus doesn't exactly deserve a free sentence after only a year in jail. He won't get a sentence of like 10 years or whatnot, but he could get an extra year or 2 in jail. Regardless of what the actual outcome is, the rap community and much of the music world will have their eyes glued to their TVs or computers to try and find out what the final word on 6ix9ine is when his sentencing comes, because it will affect a great many when it comes, and they'll have a lot to say on it either way. Meek Mill. For Meek Mill, he has a very basic feeling on 6ix9ine and his situation as a whole. Mainly, he's one of the many rappers who feel that 6ix9ine has betrayed the entire rap community by saying what he's saying in court and trying to snitch on just about anything that moves in order to try and get himself a better sentence in terms of jail time. When others were trying to build up 6ix9ine on social media after his arrest and reported snitching, Meek Mill called him out right away and said that 6ix9ine ain't no longer a part of the rap community. And when 6ix9ine's girlfriend tried to defend him, Meek Mill fired back about how 6ix9ine's just showing his true colors and that there's nothing to defend. This isn't about the rap world, it's about loyalty, and he just broke the code. Meek Mill even went on to say that this was something that he personally saw coming a mile away. He could tell that 6ix9ine was all talk and little action, and that cost him in the end, as now very few people respect him and see him in a totally different light overall. Cardi B. Of all the names that have been brought up to the trial of 6ix9ine, the one that many never thought to hear uttered from the controversial rapper's mouth was Cardi B, and yet that is exactly what happened with her when 6ix9ine was asked about her association with certain groups, including being asked if she was a blood, which 6ix9ine all too happily confirmed. This got quite a reaction from Cardi B, who is one of the biggest rappers in the game right now, and one of the two queens of rap. She didn't deny that she was a blood, but rather clarify what blood she was, and it wasn't a 9 Trey, which many felt 6ix9ine was alluding to. Rather, she said she was another kind, and thus this makes her rather irrelevant to the case, which is technically true, as the FBI is only after the 9 Treys in force, not other groups at this time. Still, it's weird that she was brought up at all, because that's a reach even for an attorney who was the one that brought up Cardi B in court, not 6ix9ine, and it's possible that this could be used against her in the other court case that is coming up against her. But in regards to 6ix9ine, Cardi B made it clear on Twitter that she doesn't have time to deal with his lies, words, or anything in between. Snoop Dogg. If there's one thing you can like about Snoop Dogg, it's that he honestly is a pretty chill guy. So if you were dumb enough to get a rise out of him, you know he ain't playing. Because he would rather be doing anything else than getting mad at people. The D.O.G.G. wants to live a happy and fun life, not worrying about the stresses of other people and their actions. So realize the seriousness of the act when Snoop Dogg is not only talking about 6ix9ine, but is positively fuming about it. He went on to the Howard Stern show and made it very clear how he felt about him, citing the law of the street as the biggest reason for him being the rat that he is. You know the rules and regulations to this. Snitches get stitches. You know that. Snoop said to Stern with a laugh. I've heard of people telling on each other, ratting on the organization, but he ratted on other organizations on top of his organization. His friends, his people he just went berserk. That motherfucker sang like Aretha Franklin. For the record, I'm sure that Aretha Franklin has a much better singing voice than 6ix9ine, but the point is well made. Another thing that Snoop is having trouble with is that 6ix9ine is likely going to get out of jail very soon, all because of the plea deal that he got, which isn't something that Snoop Dogg likes at all. When did that become a get out of jail pass? Snoop asked. Because my thing is, if me and Seth go commit a crime right now, and if me or him decide to tell on each other, that means one of us gets out, or do we both go to jail? Because I watched the first 48, which is one of my favorite shows, and normally when a motherfucker is associated with crime, his is being charged with the crime just by association. To be clear, 6ix9ine is not out of the woods yet. His sentencing, which we'll get to later, is scheduled to be happening soon, and what his ultimate fate will be shall be determined there. To even get the plea deal though, 6ix9ine had to plead guilty to various charges that were lobbied against him, which means that he has a felony record now, and that will officially follow him throughout the rest of his life, which I'm sure Snoop Dogg will enjoy. He is not exactly guaranteed to get out of jail early. His plea deal states that he will get a reduced sentence and is guaranteed to not get life in prison or a time close to 47 years in jail. But that doesn't mean that he can't get a few more years tacked onto his sentence, which may at least be a little justice that Snoop Dogg can appreciate. And there you have it, a glimpse at some of the rappers who have made their voices heard on the 6ix9ine situation. Which of these rappers do you agree with in terms of their thoughts on 6ix9ine? Do you think that 6ix9ine will never truly be let back into the world of rap music, or do you think he'll go on in spite of those who are working against him? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on King Trending.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad Mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.